Welcome to Adamant Atheism. On this third episode, I'll address the concern about why atheists bother to gather over something they don't even believe in. I'll present the liberal and conservative arguments about the trans bathroom bill so you can decide which one is more correct. I'll play a new song by my friends in the atheist band Monster on Sunday, and I'll close out with an interview with my hero and favorite comedian of all time, Mr. Stewart Huff. Let's get to it. Hey, so a lot of the times when I talk about when I go to things like atheist conventions or even atheist local meetup groups or anything that's group-related and atheist-related, there's always one or more people who seem to not understand that. They say things like, why do atheists even gather? Isn't that like the exact same thing as church? And like even people who don't believe will say, well, I don't believe in God either, but I don't understand the need to gather around something you don't believe in. Nobody meets up because they don't believe in Santa Claus or unicorns and shit. Okay, fine. That's true. Nobody gathers because they don't believe in Santa Claus or unicorns. But I guarantee you, if there were a bunch of, like millions, a huge sector of America, and a politically influential sector of America who believed in Santa Claus or unicorns, and Santa Claus and the unicorns had a holy book or whatever that they were trying to pass on and impose laws on the whole country, you can bet your sweet ass that we'd gather up and we'd fight against that bullshit too. Atheist organizations serve lots of purposes. Humans are social creatures. I mean, I'm mostly a loner and I'm by myself most of the time and I prefer it that way. But still, it's nice to like belong to a group and have that kind of, that fellowship and that camaraderie and that like the social aspect of things, because I know there's a lot of people who don't really believe in a God, but there's not as many people who are as concerned about like trying to help people out of religion. Like people who might have questions or who might be scared to come out of the closet about religion, we can gather and like come up with ways to help people out of that kind of thing. Or when there's religious people trying to push laws against gay people or against atheists or against any kind of minority group, we're right there to stop that bullshit because religious influence doesn't get to play a part in politics, and that's where we come in. We are the opposition to that shit. Without us, it would probably just pretty much be a theocracy. We form groups to uphold the church-state separation. Without us, there is no church-state separation because there's no voice against the theocracy that's trying to be imposed by the fundamentalists. We are a necessary byproduct of religious fundamentalism. If they didn't exist, we wouldn't need to exist, but because they exist, we have to exist. So yeah, I try to go to as many atheist conventions as I can a year. I average around 3 or 4 a year if I can make it. I try to be more active in my local group. I haven't been as much yet, but I'm working on it. They're a really good group, and I like hanging out with them, so I'm trying to get more into that. But yeah, it's because religion exists that we exist. We don't have groups against Santa Claus because nobody fucking believes in Santa Claus. We don't have groups against leprechauns because nobody believes in leprechauns. But the vast majority of Americans do believe in, well, Christianity, and there's a large sector of those who wants to impose their religious bullshit on the rest of America. And that's where we come in. That's why we're necessary. That's why we gather. There has to be a force fighting against that shit, and that's us. So if anyone asks you, why do you atheists bother gathering? You wouldn't gather for a non-Santa believers thing. You're right. Just tell them we wouldn't, because nobody believes in Santa Claus and nobody tries to push a Santa Claus agenda. But they do try to push a conservative, Christian, homophobic, racist, bigoted agenda, and we will not let that stand. That's why we gather. So a big issue going on now that I've been seeing a lot of is the trans bathroom bill in North Carolina that forbids trans people of using the restroom that matches their gender identity. They say that they have to use the restroom according to their sexual organs. People with a penis have to use male, people with a vagina have to use female, regardless of whether or not that person is transgendered. Now, I'm trying my best to be objective and fair about this and address the legitimate concerns on both sides. So I'm going to present some arguments from the liberal side and from the conservative side to see who makes a better case, and we can see who comes out to be the winner. All right, so first up is the liberal side. This is one of the arguments I've heard. It says, You're scared of trans people molesting your daughters, but you're perfectly fine with those same people in the bathroom with your sons. Do you get the inconsistency here? It's basically saying, I don't want these pervy weirdos in the bathroom with my daughter. I would rather have them pervy weirdos in the bathroom with my son. What the fuck are you thinking? If the issue is pervy weirdos, let's just keep them the hell out of society and put them in jail. Pervy weirdos and trans people are not the same thing. And now here's an argument from the conservative side. All right, and back to the liberal side. There's not a single recorded incident of a trans person assaulting anyone in a bathroom, ever. It's almost as if they're using the restrooms to take a piss or something. Weird, I know. All right, and from the conservative side... All right, and back to the liberal side. Trans people have been pissing in the restroom that matches their gender identity for years. There's never been a problem with this, but suddenly now it's an issue. It's like you're trying to solve a problem that doesn't even exist. And from the conservatives?
He's climbing in your windows, he's snatching your people up, trying to rape them, so y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because they're raping everybody out here.
And from the liberals? You think a fucking sign on the door is going to stop a sexual predator? That's ridiculous. If somebody's going to be a sexual predator, I mean, the infinitely worse crime is molesting a kid in a bathroom. And you think that if this pervy weirdo sees a fucking sign on the door that says ladies' room, that's going to stop him from going in and molesting the kid. That's ridiculous. And you don't get to deny rights to people because of the actions of some fucking perverts. If a creepy weirdo gets busted being a creepy weirdo in a public bathroom, well, okay, now they're in jail and off the streets and not molesting people in bathrooms anymore. The solution to creepy weirdos in public bathrooms isn't to discriminate against trans people. Fuck that. And from the conservatives? All right, well, there's your objective analysis of the arguments from both the liberal and conservative side regarding the transgender bathroom bill. I'll leave it up to you to make up your own mind. Good luck. So a couple weeks ago when I did my first episode of this show, I talked about how there's not a whole lot of atheist music out there. So I thought I'd have a recurring segment where I showcase some atheist bands or rap artists or whatever. I have a friend here in Cincinnati named Insomniac, and he's an atheist rapper, and I played his song Reason on here, and so far, that's the segment that's gotten the best reviews. So I'll keep it going, and this week, I have a couple friends in an atheist rock band called Monster on Sunday, and this is a song by them called Just Like You. Enjoy.
Your God is, your God is, your God is, your God is. Your God is just like you. Just like you, just like you. Your God is just like you. Your God is just like you. Just like you, just like you. Your God is just like you. Your God is jealous and proud of it, petty and unjust. am a leveling bully, vindictive and violent. He's a selfish liar, a thug and a bigot. Just another ethnic cleanser. Just another evil monster. Just another abusive father. Just another motherfucker. Your God is just like you. Just like you. Just like you. Your God is just like you. Your God is just like you. Just like you. Just like you. Your God is just like you. Just another ethnic cleanser. Just like you. Just another evil monster. Just like you. Just another abusive father. Just like just another motherfucker. Your God is just like you. Just like you. Just like you. Your God is just like you. Your God is just like you. Just like you. Just like you. Your God is just like you. Your God is just like you. Just like you. Just like you. Your God is just like you. Your God is just like you. Just like you. Just like you. Your God is just like you.
All right, awesome. If you like Monster on Sunday's music, you can find their website at monsteronsunday.com. They have a Facebook page and plenty of stuff on YouTube too, so check them out. So this is the third episode of this show, and I've actually recorded an interview for each of these shows, but I haven't played them yet because I haven't figured out a way to mix them in to the flow of the show just yet. But this week, I was extremely lucky enough to have my dear friend and my hero and my favorite stand-up comedian of all time, Stewart Huff, in town to do some shows at the local comedy club. So I was lucky enough to score an interview with him for this podcast, so I have to play it. Went to his hotel room this past Friday. He fucking bought me lunch, the biggest honor of my life. We went back to his hotel room and we recorded this interview here. Now, just to say, the audio kind of sucks, and that is totally 100% my fault. The main issue was the air conditioner running in the back.